Before you had words, your body was already listening. So part of our healing journey, what we've chose to come into this life, actually begins in the womb. And what happens in the womb is that the mother carries the belief systems of not just her female lineage, but of the male lineage, but also of the father. So through the wombs of time, we carry the belief systems of unworthiness, of not being wanted, of rejection, abandonment, of all of these things. And we absorb the mother's nervous system when we're in the womb. We absorb her thoughts and feelings, and they become part of our belief system. So if your mother's going through a really traumatic pregnancy, maybe there's anger or violence, or like all sorts of different things, or maybe your mother's lost a child and she's grieving, but she's never actually had that chance to grieve that child. So there's going to be a lot of anxiety. So you might find that you go through life and you're filled with anxiety, and you can't explain where it comes from. Or your mum might have been maybe not necessarily wanting to have a child, so you've always had the sense of being rejected or abandoned or not wanted, and not knowing where it's come from. So part of the work that I do, it's called From Inner to Infinity, because we actually need to begin with healing the womb trauma. And what we do, we go back through the wombs of time. We go back to the original belief system that doesn't serve you, that doesn't serve your lineage, because we are the chain breakers, we are the way showers. Breathing inner to infinity then incorporates the inner child, because the inner child is the one that grows up with the perception of who it thinks it's meant to be, so it may have grown up in violence, or it may have been neglected, may have been abandoned, may have been rejected, all of those things. So we keep attracting those things into our lives. Or you may have had like a really controlling parent, or a really absent parent, or an overprotective parent. So we form all of these belief systems around ourselves as children, and we carry them into our adult lives, and we manifest them in our relationships and in all things that we do. And we've got the ancestral lines, like the mother and father wound that we carry, that the father lineage, and maybe the father's been, he's worked hard but he's never been present, or maybe he's been an alcoholic, or maybe the other parents, but maybe there's been addiction with the parents, maybe there's been violence, maybe there's been violation. So all of these things affect the inner child. And so when the inner child loses that light and that belief in the self and the magic of who we are, all of those things and also too, we don't know as children how to process our emotions, so we push them down, sit down, shut up, be seen, not heard, don't show your anger, don't cry, all of this stuff. So we don't actually know how to be as adults, and quite often we're trapped in a time in our lives as an inner child and our responses as adults. So we have to actually clear that inner child. The mother and father lineage, all of the stuff that goes with that, the past lives, the things that we come through from other lifetimes that we've come to balance in this lifetime, balancing the masculine, feminine inside of us, because we all have a male and female inner child. I'm the only person I know that actually works with the male and female inner child. And it's such a powerful process, because when those two parts of us come into alignment, and the inner masculine, inner feminine are working together in harmony, everything changes. We need to work through the saboteur, that part of ourselves that like we might be doing things, might be going really well, and we'll sabotage it because we don't believe that it's going to be, that it's going to work out. And that's been our pattern. It's been a protective thing. So, learning to balance the saboteur. There's so many different aspects of us that we carry inside of us that we need to bring into alignment, and all of it is leading to infinity, from inner to infinity, from inner being in the womb to infinity, which is becoming the embodiment of your higher self, because we actually need to be moving into a higher state of consciousness, but we actually need to move through the levels first to get there. So that's where the 9D breathwork has been so powerful for me. I have cleared 14 generations of ancestral wounds. I've cleared my womb trauma, my mother wound, my father wound, my ancestral wounds. I've cleared past lives. I've also connected with the highest consciousness of the universe. So that's why this journey is so powerful, and that's why I'm passionate about inner to infinity, because we actually need to put all of those parts of the jigsaw puzzle together. We need to pull it apart, heal those parts, and bring them all, integrate them all, so that we can actually become the embodiment of our higher self. So that's where the 9D breathwork has been so powerful for me, and for all of like the 30,000 people that are in our community doing it as well too. It's such a powerful process. So There's a link. We've got a 2-week free trial for our app, which is absolutely amazing. Just check it out. You know, you get guided through whatever it is that you're needing to come through, the stuff for the inner child, the stuff for anger, the stuff for all of those things. There's a 5-minute experience there. Put the headphones on, jump in and just enjoy and see how um, everything changes. And there's also a link to join our community of like-minded people all around the world that are doing this work, that are here to transform, and we are here to change the world. So looking forward to sharing your journey, and have a beautiful magical day just being you and knowing that you are enough. Just as you are enough.